If you're living at the edge of a forest reserve, remember that there's a sequence to feeding animals and not feeding them.
There is. Billionaires being banished to outer space. Elephants getting the midnight munchies, supercars being destroyed. And of course, interns making the internet's heart bleed. All of this somehow makes its way into this episode of So Far, So Good.
So this is our space as well as your space, where we collect all these funky, quirky, light-hearted, happy stories. Well, most of them are happy at any rate. And we bring them to you. We like to do this a couple of times a week so that we bring some joy in these times to your life. So far, so good. We are Jaggu and Tarana.
Acha, listen, if you are here accidentally, yay, you found us. We must be doing something right with the thumbnail. And if you're here
immediately comment.
And immediately subscribe so that you can find us again. And if you are here because you are an old favorite, listen, we love you. We love your comments. Thanks to you talking to us so much per episode. People who look at our analytics and see that there are not that many subscribers, they also say, but oh my God, jo hai, they are hardcore. So thank you. Thank you very much for all the love and support, and thank you for being here. Let's get your weekend sorted. Okay. Pichle episode mein, remember we were talking about how like different countries in the world are trying to tempt their people to get vaccinated. And, they were getting cars and they were getting all through lotteries, but cars and iPhones and gold bars and all of that. And we were like, why don't they use the stick approach instead of the carrot approach? Turns out it is happening. So Ashita Patel, who watches us from all the way from New Jersey, hi Ashita, pointed out that in America, where they were offering joints, yes, marijuana joints for jabs as well as beer.
Joints
if you got yourself, a vaccine, is now using the stick approach by saying, we have all these exciting concerts and we have these exciting like games in stadiums. Oh, you're not vaccinated? No, then you can't come. And in the Philippines, the president of the Philippines, who is quite a mental person, we can say this, right? No, like Filipino government watching us, Jaggu.
No, but we're not going there in a hurry anyway, no?
So he has said, if you don't want to get vaccinated, then you please leave the country. You go to India. He also said,
he offered
America.
India, he offered US. Visa kaun arrange karne wala hai? Huh? But anyway, he said you go.
Yes.
He said you go, otherwise there will be consequences if you sit here and you don't take the vaccine.
Yes.
And the consequences, forcefully give it to you in your bum.
I don't know how he uses words like bum and buttocks or all. So it's I will catch you and I will pull your pants down and I will give you basically an injection in the bum, and I will also throw you into jail if you don't get yourself vaccinated. So this is now the stick approach, and we will keep an eye on it. But while we're in the Philippines, this is going to make everyone's heart sort of stop because some very, very expensive cars were recently destroyed. Why did they do it, Jaggu? Because they were smuggled cars.
They were smuggled cars, and look, this happens anywhere where imported cars come with a lot of duties. ऐसा नहीं कि इंडिया में नहीं होता है. There's some lafda that invariably happens. So yes.
How do you smuggle a car? Like by boat or something? I don't know.
Yeah. A boat, you find someone in customs or in the port or whatever and figure it out, or you drive it across the border if you can. Stuff like that.
That was a trick question, Jaggu, and you happen to know the answer to how to smuggle a car.
Because I read.
Okay then. No, but I mean, okay.
And I can also make jugadu assumptions.
I'm going to name these cars. Tell me if you recognize them. McLaren 620R. Yeah. Very fancy. So that was a brand new one. It got destroyed. They crushed it. Also some Hyundai Genesis.
Oh, that's the upper end of the Hyundai range. Genesis is its own brand
Bentley.
Of car.
A Bentley 2007, used Porsche 911 C2
Chalega.
Anyway, just to show you how the Philippines government, as well as what is it called? The customs department mean business. We have an image or two to share with you.
No.
We have gone and Aju Baju, both cars are destroyed, and this one is in the middle.
This is not good.
Shall we zoom in and see, Jaggu, if he's got a sad expression on his face?
Or he's wearing a mask.
I know, but he's looking sad. Like, oh no. This is cruelty to cars.
Look, the only reason to do this is to make a very serious point. that we will destroy what you thought you could have.
See how many cars they've destroyed.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. I'm guessing the more sensible way to do it, saying that we have confiscated it. We will now regularize the paperwork. We will sell it and we will keep the money and use that money to do some good. There's millions that will come out of a car, out of selling cars like this. Yeah, how many cars were destroyed like this?
Yeah, they destroyed, I think, about 21 cars. 21 smuggled fancy cars were destroyed.
So imagine, yeah, that's a couple of $1 million right there, yeah. You could have used that for something better, but then you would have not made your point.
Yeah.
Also, the point is invariably has to be made loudly. There should be no subtlety in making the points.
Also, if you are importing all these fancy like cars and smuggling them, clearly means you can afford it if like one of them doesn't make it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them, yeah. Or alternatively, you can just about afford those cars, but you can't afford the tax on it, which is why you're arranging to have it smuggled. And now you're really, really feeling the pain.
Uh-oh.
But you know, here's someone else who might be feeling the pain.
Okay.
Jeff Bezos. Now, yes, I know we're talking about the richest man in the world. There's not too many things that could be painful to him.
Nothing, except for actual physical pain.
But to be the person where thousands of people want to see you go into space and not return. Nahi, he must feel that pain a little bit. Okay, so here's the thing.
Like a heart ko chhuega. Like it's going to hurt the heart, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? So look, this has been going on for over a month, okay? He has one of these space exploration companies, Blue Origin, we know that. They've done a lot of space flights. On the 20th of July, they're going to do the first manned flight. I mean, Blue Origin is. They're going to do their first manned flight. Jeff Bezos has said that he will be on that flight. I think
he's going with his brother and people bid to be the third person on it.
So here's the thing, right? I believe there are 6 people going. Jeff Bezos said he's going to be one of them. He invited his brother Mark, who was most excited. He wasn't expecting it until like his brother said, "Aaja yaar." Then
this is probably going to be the coolest joyride ever between brothers.
You know what I'm saying?
Long drive pe chalta hai, kidhar outer space.
So there are 3 others, which I'm assuming are going to be proper astronauts. Somebody has to drive.
Press the right buttons.
One seat was put up for auction. This happened earlier this month. So they said 1 seat for this flight. You're coming with us. It started at $4.8 million. 7,000 people registered to bid, first of all, from about 159 countries. It started so there were about 20-25 serious bidders. Started at $4.8 million. It was 10 minutes. The winning bid was $28 million. We still don't know who. One of the name will come at some point.
Abhi tak his identity has not been revealed.
But here's the thing, right? You can't just say, main space jaunga. There are certain specifications that were involved. There was a certain height specification, 5 to 6'4". There was a certain weight specification, like 110 to 220, 230 pounds, things like that. You had to have the health, body structure, strength, whatever it is, to handle gravitational forces of between 2 to 5 times your own body weight.
Yeah. The G-force.
The G-force. You also had to be able to climb 7 flights of stairs so that you could get from the base to enter the capsule or the shuttle.
In how much time?
And that's when I said, I'm not bidding.
Yeah, but in how much time, Jambu? Like if you climb 7 floors...
No. There was a time limit to that. And
okay.
No, at a go. There was no stopping on chai pite. None of that shit. It was I forget, it might have been 90 seconds. That sounds a little too little. But anyway, the point is...
You can't do 7 floors in a minute and a half. Then you have to run up.
I know that I might have the maths wrong over there, but 7 flights of stairs have to be climbed so that you can enter the spacecraft, shuttle, capsule, jo bhi hai. And that's what I said, I'm not bidding. If I'm going to be paying that much money, there jolly well be a bloody elevator.
Hai na, lift ki to zarurat hai.
Correct, but nahi tha. So all of this is happening. It's costing. A space flight costs money, to set up the infrastructure, this, that, and the other. It's not just, rocket mein jayenge kind of thing.
But this is also an auction. So the fact that $29 million are being spent on that ticket is his choice. He could have also, not bid so much.
No, but that money is going towards an organization that promotes general space activities. It's not going towards the cost of the flight.
Correct.
That money is being assigned for something else. Elizabeth Warren, the senator, and she was, I think, also a presidential hopeful, if I'm not mistaken.
She was one of the Democratic,
front
candidates,
runner,
and then not within the Democrats, nobody really voted for her, and then hence Joe Biden is the president. Yeah.
So she has gone to town very publicly saying, see what is happening. Here's someone who doesn't pay his tax, and he's been getting a lot of flack for that. No? For all the billions that he has, he ends up paying very little tax, including in 2 out of the last few years. He's still got some sort of tax refund or not paid zero tax or something like that he has done.
These billionaires must have amazing chartered accountants, no?
So here's my side point.
Okay? Who know every loophole there is to be exploited.
None of them are breaking the law.
No, of course not. No, we know this.
They're following the tax code. They're not evading tax. But the tax code is the way it is. Now, you want to tax them properly. Change the tax code. Don't scream at them for paying less tax. You want them. And some of them are saying also, please tax us properly. Warren Buffett is saying, please tax us properly. And he's also paying lower tax. But I mean, if the law is there, they'll follow the law and save the money that they can. It's as simple
but it is jugaad, Jagu. It's jugaad. It's not like clay. It's not like black and white.
No, I believe it's black and white. Nobody is saying they have done this.
1 minute. There are enough people who buy a fancy car every year because, I'll just change my car every year because depreciation may,
correct.
I save a lot of money versus taxes or whatever it is. But it's not the right thing to do.
No, it is perfectly the right thing to do. In that case, you change the depreciation law. Yeah, maybe they're buying Teslas. What do I know? Yeah. So anyway, the point is, space flight is happening on the 20th of July. Okay, we're back to the space flight. In the meantime, a petition has started, and this is fresh. This khabar has been going on for a month, this whole story. Fresh khabar is that 75,000 people have signed an online petition saying if Jeff Bezos is going to space, let him not come back. You stay there only. And that must hurt. Don't let him in until he pays his taxes properly. And then there are people who are signing the petition and then also leaving comments, right? My work, my hard work, my blood, sweat and tears being paid a minimum wage at an Amazon warehouse is what is paying for this space flight. He makes billions while I make money for him at some $15 an hour or something. He's getting solid flat. 75,000. I mean, of course, he's world famous. Of course, he's the richest man in the world.
Basically, they've said Earth is no place for billionaires, nor is space. But if he is in space, then better space than Earth.
Exactly. Those are the kind of comments that are coming. 75,000 people and counting are in the process of signing that online petition. I have to say, with all that money, that must still hurt. It must.
It probably does. Also, by the way, in case you're wondering how long is this flight going to be, can he stay there for a few weeks? No, it's 11 minutes.
11 minutes. And it's a short period of time. I mean, your camera better be fast.
Yeah.
No setting up and all of that. Just keep hitting the button.
Take all the photos that you want. All right. From outer space, we come back to, the space all of us occupy on a daily basis. The internet. The internet is sometimes really mean, but sometimes it can be very, very sweet. And a particular intern is experiencing the sweet side of the internet. Okay. Interns, all of us have been interns at some point in our life. In case you're wondering, intern kya hota hai? Wow, you young person, you. It is usually your very first job where uncle or auntie says, acha, mere saath usko bhej do, and he will or she will learn on the job. And typically, like in the olden days, an intern was an apprentice where the craft was taught, and then that person would learn the craft, make the money, and also get employment. Nowadays, interns are quite badly abused by the system, where a lot of employers tend to say, for this job, I either can hire somebody and pay them a salary, or I'll just get like some 3-4 interns and make them work for free and tell them you can write it as work experience, so if any company offers you that, no, you must definitely demand a stipend. A stipend is your bare minimum money that you need, at least for the bus ka bhada, so that you can go to work and come back from work. But anyway, so an intern has made a mistake and the internet is melting. So it started with this sort of tweet. Okay. Integration test email 1. Anybody else get this from HBO Max? So HBO Max, a company, sent an email where there was nothing on it. Okay. Then HBO Max has said this. we have mistakenly sent out an empty test email to a portion of our mailing list. We apologize. And as the jokes pile in, yes, it was the intern. No, really, but we're helping them through it. Okay,
Sweet.
saying, not saying intern bewakoof, कितना नुकसान करा दिया, क्या बेइज्जती की? No, they have said we are helping them through it. And then the internet decided we must also help the intern through it.
Dear intern, I once sent an email to 5,000 employees asking them to update their benefits, but I didn't BCC them. So hundreds of people hit reply all, and then hundreds more hit reply all to tell others not to reply all, and it crashed our whole email system.
And clearly this is a good story and was not fired. That's why I has shared this. Thank you, Jenny, for that.
Once when I was a junior copywriter, I applied to my dream job at The Atlantic. It's quite a prestigious publication, and wrote copyright on my resume. I misspelled the job I wanted, which was a job for good spellers. You're doing great,
Literally.
Okay?
Yeah, you can't do copywriting if you can't spell it correctly.
Oh, fabulous.
Look at this one. When I was 25, I made a PDF assigning each employee to the Muppet they reminded me of the most, the Muppets. Okay, so like the Muppet Show and all. Meant to send it to a friend, send it to the whole company, and then the supervisor wanted to fire me, but the owners, Bert and Ernie, intervened. So Bert and Ernie are actually two very popular Muppets. And nice. I guess the owners also called Bert and Ernie, and hence it was a joke or whatever. But clearly did not go badly. This is classic, man.
Dear intern, I once didn't recognize then VP George H.W. Bush and almost didn't let him into a meeting in the cabinet room of the White House where he worked. He was actually as gracious as HBO Max help appears to be being. You'll be fine. Well done.
George W. Bush. George H.W. Bush.
President, then Vice President, was not allowed into his own meeting.
But he was nice, so I'm impressed with him. This is very funny. As a young lawyer, basically caught a typo, blindly changed it across the document, and it became, well, my brief argued for the rights of all the panties, not the parties, all 50 pages of it. So if he caught a typo, means at some point the word panties was there in his brief.
I thought about that, and I'm like, well, yeah, maybe it was, or he did a typo of the typo.
So typo, I don't know. But anyway,
maybe
he was, however,
like copywriter ka, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just got it wrong.
Imagine this: people who follow Spotify for podcasts or the music and all. Apparently, somebody has globally taken down Spotify. Almost happened twice. I am still here.
Wow.
Yeah, must be some senior person. There is also another White House.
I once tweeted the word impotent instead of impetus from the White House Twitter account. Yes, the White House. And the media also screenshotted it. You're welcome. I survived. You'll be just fine.
Probably.
Lovely.
This is a dear intern. I was using my desktop calendar to make a monthly note of when I started my menstrual period. Girls, you know this. All of us have on our phones calendars, and you're supposed to remember when our period came and all. Later, she realized that she was making it on a calendar that she has shared with all her colleagues. This would embarrass, and this is not even when she was very small, 37 years old. So this is an embarrassing thing for Casey to have revealed just to help the intern. And I'm sure the intern is happy. And this is the last one that we're going to leave you with.
I once sent out a 1-900-SEX hotline as a conference call number for the Women's National Democratic Club. The average age of membership was about 78. Shit happens.
So literally, if you are an intern, if you're a young person starting out your job and you're worried about, oh no, I made the biggest mistake of my life, shit happens. It happens to everybody. And all those examples are supposed to make you realize, how else are you going to learn? Wisdom really comes from the mistakes you make.
Yeah. And a lot of those mails were, you will survive, you'll be fine. And yes, generally you will be. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So it was like a show of solidarity on the internet for the intern. Jagu, have you ever been interned anywhere?
Yes, I have. Oh. I have. So look, I'm terrible at paperwork, right? You know how it works. I'll pile it up till I have to sort it out.
For somebody who's terrible at paperwork, you do a lot of it.
Yes, exactly. Because I'm trying to resolve old issues and it's a constant issue. So here's the thing. There are these work reports. So the salesmen, when they go out, they have to write a report for each customer that they visited. My job was to file it by salesperson, by company that they visited. You know, there was a certain filing structure. And these were the old days where none of this was happening on computer. They would handwrite it on a template. And so it was my job to segregate it. I had other things going on. I would keep putting it in the drawer, keep putting it in the drawer, keep putting it. At some point, the boss, whom I fortunately know, I come into work one morning, my drawer is missing. My drawer is missing. Drawer. Huh. Yeah, so, and then I go to the boss's cabin, which is locked.
Huh.
So I asked the peon, what just happened? So he said, हाँ, साहब ने आपका drawer अंदर रख लिया. So I said, but the office is, why is his office locked? Where is he? He's gone on tour. I had to negotiate with him, the peon, to open the door. Okay. So he opens the door. The desk, the drawer is lying there on the side of his desk with a note that says,
fire him.
Do not touch this drawer. He expected that I would do this. No, do not touch this drawer. I took the papers. He was on a 3-day trip. I filed everything by the time he came. I replaced, I left the drawer in his room. I replaced his note with my note saying, I just took the papers, I didn't touch the drawer.
Good one, Jaggu. Good one. That's damn funny. That's a good one.
Well, I could have got into serious trouble.
Did you get fired or did he laugh? Did he laugh?
No. He laughed. I mean, yeah, he was anticipating I would do something nonsensical.
Well done. If you like Jaggu's story and his cleverness, remember to like this video. Tell us about we really want to know, have you ever interned anywhere? Did you have like big boo-boos, or were you like the awesome intern who is now, I don't know, heading your own department in the same organization? We want to hear your story. So remember, like the video, talk to us in the comments, subscribe if you've been watching so far and you haven't subscribed. Come on, please. We really need you right now. Once we hit like millions now, then you can drop off if you don't want to be a subscriber and just want to watch like incognito. But right now we need the numbers.
We'd rather you didn't either way.
Yeah. No, I'm giving you an out when we hit millions.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So subscribe, bell icon, and please share with like-minded people. And now as we leave, as usual, we would like to share an animal story with you. The story is like, it's just cute, okay? Thailand, the land of elephants. There are people who live on the edge of like a national reserve. And wild elephants tend to roam around in their compound, eat their bananas, eat their food, go through the crops and all of that. So we know this. It usually happens and none of the people over there panic. A little while ago, one elephant decided to enter someone's house through the kitchen, not through the door, but created its own door. Okay.
This is an elephant.
An elephant looking for food. The guy was at that point shocked and surprised and said, oh my God, an elephant is coming to my house. Since then, he said, it's a usual thing. Because literally a couple of days ago, apparently the same elephant has come back and again decided to enter the kitchen, and the guy has shot a video. Happy to share it with you right now. It's really
now he's not scared of the elephant. He's like anticipating the elephant will come. I'll shoot a video when
no, he's like,
Hathi mere sathi shows up.
Moti aaya. Okay.
Moti aaya.
Moti aaya. Moti is hunting.
Hunting for food.
Yes.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay, has clearly gone through the divar is looking quite kacha, no, Jaggu?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how kacha an elephant is. I'm sure very strong.
And why is that elephant just eaten a plastic bag? I don't know. Apparently, it had like food in it. Yeah, it was a plastic bag. I'll show it to you again if you like.
Wow.
Okay. There, can you see the plastic bag? Which had some liquid in it. Also, what is this kitchen that doesn't have food?
Well, it's food. I'm sure the food is in the kitchen. It's just not accessible to the trunk of the elephant. I mean,
yeah. And the lesson that the owner of this house who has made this video has for everybody is when they come looking for food, do not give it to them, because when they don't find the food, then they go away.
Oh, is that right? They don't get upset and throw a tantrum and like break another wall.
No, but if you do feed the elephant Raja that has come to the house, then every day it will come.
Lesson to be learned. If you're living at the edge of a forest reserve, remember that there's a sequence to feeding animals and not feeding them.
There is. There is. All right. Thank you for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, bell icon, and share with like-minded people. Also, keep yourself safe. Double mask on. Try and keep sane. Try and stay positive, and we will get through this together. We are Jagu and Tarana, and we're out of here. Okay, bye.
Bye, bye, butterfly.